Greetings, history lovers. Dr. Philip Travis here, HistoryChanges.com YouTube channel. We're here in front of the Pantheon in Rome. And the Pantheon is one of the more impressive structures that you can see in ancient Rome, and certainly in the ancient Western world. Interesting things about the Pantheon. Of course, the Pantheon was originally designed, or the idea behind it, comes right after the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, the great naval victory that was won by Augustus's general, Marcus Agrippa. And Augustus then had defeated Cleopatra, had defeated Mark Antony. This is when Egypt is brought into the Roman Empire, really facilitating the beginning of the growth of the Roman Empire to its height. And this marked the beginning of Augustus Caesar's reign as emperor. Augustus Caesar, who had reigned then until 14 BCE. He was, of course, the adopted son of Julius Caesar and was named Octavian at the time. Agrippa wanted to oversee, underneath the leadership of Augustus, Agrippa wanted to oversee a great building project, and among it was the Pantheon. However, the Pantheon was built, it was burned. There was another one built under, I think, the leadership of Trajan. But this one here is the final one that remains today, largely unchanged in its structure, built by Hadrian over a century afterwards. And it was designed to be a temple, a Roman temple for the 7 central Roman gods. Ultimately, in the 6th century, I believe it was, 7th century maybe, it was converted into a church, and so today it's a church. It's been a consistently running church since the 7th century. I believe it's the 7th century. And as a result of that, it's largely remained intact. Now, obviously, the images to Roman gods and such have been removed and replaced with crucifixes and the depictions of Jesus and these types of things. It's a really interesting structure for a number of reasons, and I'm going to say this really quick because we've got crowds of people here. It's one of the most busy places. If you ever come to Rome, you want to make sure you book your tickets in advance because this gets really busy, and we're not even here during the height of season. The columns you see out front, those columns are made of one piece of stone, and these come from Egypt. They would have been pink originally, but not anymore. But they come from Egypt, one piece of stone. The dome, which you can't see it, but I'm going to show you inside, is a massive dome with a hole in the roof that's designed for the sunlight to come through. The dome is the largest, still to this day, it is the largest unsupported, meaning there's not a structure inside of it, an unreinforced concrete structure. The Romans were great innovators of concrete. And it was actually the largest dome in the world until Brunelleschi's dome in Florence. Of course, that one is not made of concrete, and it is not, or at least not only made of concrete, and probably some concrete in it. The door is 14 tons. It's a bronze door. It's the original bronze door. It's an incredible sight, one of the most intact and impressive sites in Rome. An interesting thing, last thing I will say, the Emperor Hadrian, who's associated with the largest expanse of the Roman Empire. You can see the Hadrian's Wall in England today. Hadrian, even though he oversaw this incredibly innovative building project, other engineers at the time scoffed at his idea to build this dome, this round structure with a dome, which, by the way, is truly round. You could put a sphere inside of it. Even though it wasn't Agrippa's design, when Hadrian had this structure rebuilt, he left Agrippa's name on it. He didn't even sign his name, which speaks, I think, to the humble nature of Hadrian, which is a pretty impressive quality for an emperor of such power and authority as the Emperor Hadrian. So the Pantheon here in Rome. I'll take you inside now. We'll check it out inside a bit. So we heard a little bit about the Pantheon from outside. Now we're going to take a little walk inside. I'll show you just how stunning complex this is. It is the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world today, still. The Romans were exceptional engineers, and obviously concrete was one of the big innovations of the Romans. You see the dome up there with the opening in the top. This dome dedicates 7 significant Roman gods, or this temple. This is a Roman temple. And the original building for this temple actually is associated with the aftermath of the famous Battle of Actium in 31 BC, in which Marcus Agrippa oversaw a stunning naval victory over the forces of Mark Antony in the conflict between Mark Antony, Cleopatra, and Octavian, who came to be known as Augustus, for basically power in Rome. This began the beginning of Augustus's reign as really supreme emperor in a new era in Roman history. Agrippa then, underneath of Augustus, of course, who was the emperor, Agrippa then sought to oversee a stunning and impressive building project in Rome, which involved the building of the Roman temple, the Pantheon, on this site. Now, Agrippa's temple ultimately was destroyed. It burned, I believe. And this temple was built over a century later under the leadership of first Trajan and then Emperor Hadrian, over a century later, the current Pantheon that stands here today. This Pantheon, this Roman temple, has been in use almost consistently since it was built, with maybe a brief exception between the period of Germanic invasions at the fall of Rome and the development of Christianity in Rome. But certainly since the 7th century, consistently a Roman church. So the Pantheon, this is arguably the most impressive of all Roman sites. One, because it shows you this impressive unreinforced concrete dome, of which the Romans were so famous for their innovations in the use of this structure, but also because of its association with the development of a new era in Roman history, the Roman Empire, under the leadership of Augustus, following the climax of the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, bringing it into the period of conflict, particularly between Octavian, Antony, and of course Cleopatra at the end, following the assassination of Julius Caesar, Octavian's father. As we depart the Pantheon, just a couple last mentions about this. One, the Renaissance artist Raphael is actually entombed here, as are some other very significant figures, including Victor Emmanuel of Savoy, associated with the organization of the state of Italy in the 1860s and 70s. Raphael chose this as a place to be entombed, in part because he was a Renaissance figure and believed, really held the antiquities high. Now, as we walk through the door, I want you to just look at this here. These huge doors are the original doors. I don't know if you can see these because of the light, but these huge doors are the original doors, and they weigh 14 tons. They're made of bronze. The original doors that were brought into this when the Emperor Hadrian built this actual structure that we see here. And the columns out front here are amazing because they're one piece of stone. Most columns are built in chunks, and these are one piece of stone. And again, you look at these doors, original bronze doors. We can probably see them there. As we back out, we can see the dome and these giant original bronze doors. 14 tons they weigh. And these giant columns in the front, made of a single stone and brought from Egypt. Again, we'll pan around here.
Yeah, that's real.